Hi and welcome in this new video. Hope you're doing well, hope your day is great, and stay because you will discover DAG dependencies in Airflow using 3 different methods: datasets, TriggerDAGRunOperator, and the ExternalTaskSensor. My name is Marc, I'm the head of customer education at Astronomer, best-selling instructor on Udemy, and if you don't want to miss any videos about Airflow, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. That will help me a lot. Without further ado, let's go. When you create a data pipeline, a common best practice is to put all related tasks together into the same DAG file. But the thing is, you can end up with a giant DAG file with all the tasks in it, and obviously it will be hard to maintain and even to write. Not only that, but if you have different teams working on the same DAG, it will be even harder. Or if you have one task that takes longer to complete than the others, that will slow down your entire DAG run. So another way to create your data pipelines is by dividing this giant DAG into smaller data pipelines. And that's what you can see here. At the top left corner, you have DAG A that triggers DAG B on the top right corner. And at the bottom right corner, you have DAG C that waits for DAG B to complete before running. So by doing that, you remove development frictions, especially if you have different teams working on the same project, and that gives you more flexibility, and also it will be easier to manage and to maintain your data pipelines. Again, smaller data pipelines, but part of the same project. Or actually, even if you have like 2 different projects, you will be able to reuse one smaller data pipeline in another project easily. That said, if you want to learn more about this concept, which is the concept of micro pipelines, I strongly advise you to take a look at the link in the description below. Astronomer did a wonderful post about it. Now, creating those micro pipelines is one thing, but you need to define the dependencies between those. And before defining those dependencies, there are 2 terms that you need to be familiar with. The first one is upstream DAG, and the second one is downstream DAG. So you have those data pipelines with the dependency, as you can see by the arrow at the middle, and you can say the downstream DAG waits for the upstream DAG to complete before running, or the upstream DAG triggers the downstream DAG. That's how you can express DAG dependencies. But the question is, why would you need DAG dependencies? Well, one of the reasons is if you have 2 DAGs that are dependent but owned by different teams. For example, the data engineers has a data pipeline that produces data for another data pipeline that is owned by the data analysts in order to create reports. Also, if you have 2 DAGs that are dependent but run on different schedules, and maybe you have one DAG that waits for another DAG to update data before running. For example, a data pipeline updates data in a S3 bucket, and that will trigger another data pipeline to process the data in this bucket. Then last but not least, maybe you have 2 tasks that are dependent but run on different execution dates. I'm sure that you can already see how powerful it can be to create dependencies between your data pipelines. And it is powerful, but at the same time, big warning. Be careful with DAG dependencies. Why? Because that can end up in a giant mess, spaghetti dependencies between your data pipelines. And it's gonna be a nightmare to manage and to monitor and to even like to understand all of those dependencies if they are not done right. So use DAG dependencies, but be careful, use them when it makes sense to use DAG dependencies. Otherwise, go back to the best practice, which is put all the related tasks in the same DAG file. Don't overcomplicate things that should stay simple. But again, why you should choose one way or another truly depends on your use cases, your teams, and so on. That said, it's time to discover how to create your first DAG dependency using datasets. As usual, if you want to do what I'm going to show you on your computer, you can do it. You just need to click on the link in the description below. You will find a Notion page with the code that we will use. And if you want to have the same environment as me, I strongly recommend you to use the Astro CLI. If you don't know what is the Astro CLI, it's the easiest way to run and set up Airflow locally. The first way of defining DAG dependencies is by using datasets. And you can think of a dataset as a way to represent a piece of data somewhere which has a unique string identifier. For example, you have data in a S3 bucket, you will use the path to this S3 bucket as the unique identifier of your dataset in Airflow. Then, if a task updates this dataset, that will trigger another DAG. Let me show you how to do it. In the folder DAGs, create a new file, producer.py, and this DAG will have 2 tasks that update 2 datasets. So let me show you that. First, you make the following import to create the DAG and the tasks. Then we import the dataset object to create the datasets, the datetime object to define the start date, and we are ready to create the first dataset. As you can see, this dataset represents a path in a S3 bucket. We can create a second dataset with another path. Remember that every dataset has a unique string identifier, in this case, the path to the S3 buckets. Then we define the DAG object with the datetime, schedule interval, and so on, nothing new here. Under, we can define the first task. And this is where it is very interesting, because now we have the datasets defined, we need to tell to Airflow which task updates a corresponding dataset. How do you do that? By using the parameter outlets. And outlets takes a list of datasets, in this case, data A. So we are saying this task will update the dataset data A. Next, we define the task, so update A. This task does actually nothing than just printing a message on the standard output. We create a second task. Again, we use outlets, but we pass data B, the second dataset, to indicate to Airflow that this task updates the dataset data B. And we create the task update B that does nothing than printing a message on the standard output. We have to create the dependencies between those two tasks, and that's it. Now we have a fully functional data pipeline that you can see on the Airflow UI with the following two tasks. Now the question is, how can you trigger another DAG as soon as the two datasets have been updated? Let's do it. Back to the code editor, create a new file in the folder DAGs called consumer.py. And then we import the decorators, DAG and task, as well as the dataset object to create the datasets and the datetime object. Now we have to create the same datasets as before in producer DAG, so dataset A and dataset B. You can see that they use the same path, and this is important. That's how Airflow knows that this dataset is the same as the one in producer DAG. And now we define the DAG object. The important point here is the schedule parameter. Instead of defining a cron expression as we did right there for producer DAG, we will use the datasets to say that this data pipeline is triggered as soon as dataset A and B have been updated by the DAG producer. How to do it? Just by passing a list of datasets like that. So dataset A and B. Next, we define the capture parameter, we define the DAG as well as a task that does nothing than printing a message on the standard output, and that's it. You have successfully created the second DAG, consumer DAG. Back to the Airflow UI, you have the two data pipelines, producer and consumer. Consumer is scheduled on dataset and is waiting for two datasets to be updated in order to run. The good thing with datasets is that you can clearly see the dependencies between your datasets and your DAGs by going to the datasets view. And as you can see here, you have the DAG producer that updates dataset B and A that trigger the consumer DAG. Dataset is a powerful feature of Airflow as you can trigger data pipelines on data updates and not only on time anymore. If you want to learn more about datasets, I strongly recommend you to take a look at the video I made about them. Now it's time to move to the second way of defining DAG dependencies by using the TriggerDAGRunOperator. The TriggerDAGRunOperator is very simple as it allows you to have one task in a DAG that triggers another DAG in the same Airflow environment. Let me show you how to use it. So in the DAGs folder, create a new file called controller.py, and then we import the DAG and task decorators as well as the TriggerDAGRunOperator. And as you can see, you don't have to install any provider to access the TriggerDAGRunOperator. You get it as soon as you install Airflow, then the datetime object, and you are ready to define the DAG. Now we can create a first task. So let's call it start. This task does nothing. It just prints a message on the standard output. Next, we create the task that uses the TriggerDAGRunOperator. So what are the parameters you need to pass here? Well, first, the task ID. This is obvious, you have to define a task ID for every task that you create in Airflow. Then you need to define the DAG ID of the DAG you want to trigger from there. In this case, we want to trigger a DAG with the DAG ID target. We will create this DAG later. Then you can define a configuration parameter with a dictionary that corresponds to the data you want to pass to the target DAG. Then finally, you can indicate that you want to wait for completion of this DAG, so target, before executing the next task, in this case, done. So that's the power of the TriggerDAGRunOperator. You can trigger another DAG from a task in the current DAG and wait for the completion of this other DAG before moving forward, before executing the next tasks. Then we define the dependencies and we are done with the DAG. Okay, let's create a new file in the DAGs folder called target .py. Again, we import the decorators, the datetime object, and we define the DAG. Now we create a task, so let's call it message, and as you can see, it takes as a parameter DAGRun. Actually, this parameter is a special parameter automatically filled by Airflow, so that's why DAGRun is equal to none in this case. Why do we use DAGRun? Is because we can access the message sent by the controller DAG as shown right there. So to access this message, we just need to put dagrun.conf.get and the message. That's it. Now we call the message task, and finally we've created the target DAG. If you go on the Airflow UI, you can see the two DAGs, controller and target. Remember that controller triggers the DAG target. Then if you go to browse and DAG dependencies, you can see the dependency between those two DAGs. In fact, controller has a task trigger target DAG, which is the TriggerDAGRunOperator that triggers the DAG target. And keep in mind that if you want to see DAG dependencies with the TriggerDAGRunOperator, you have to go there. You won't see that dependency in the datasets view. But you can see the DAG dependencies with datasets in this view as well, as you can see below. Okay, let's see if it works. Turn on the toggle of the target DAG, then refresh the page. As you can see, there is a DAG run that's normal as it is scheduled on daily. But the question is, if we turn on the toggle of the controller DAG, is that gonna trigger the target DAG again? So let's see, turn on the toggle, refresh the page. And as you can see, there is a new DAG run that has been triggered by the TriggerDAGRunOperator from the controller DAG. So that's how it works. Very simple, very straightforward. Don't hesitate to use the TriggerDAGRunOperator if you want to trigger another DAG from a DAG and wait for the completion of this other DAG before moving forward. If you want to learn more about the TriggerDAGRunOperator, I made a video about it, so please feel free to check it out if you want to dive deeper in the details. That said, it's time to move to the last way of creating DAG dependencies, which is the ExternalTaskSensor. So far with datasets, you can schedule DAGs based on data updates, and with the TriggerDAGRunOperator, you can trigger another DAG from a task and wait for the completion of this other DAG before executing the next task. Now, with the ExternalTaskSensor, it's a bit different because you will wait for a task to complete in another DAG before executing the next task in your current DAG. Let me show you that. Back to your code editor in the folder DAGs, create a new file dag_a.py, and then copy and paste the following code that you can find in the Notion page in the link in the description below. So this DAG is very simple, it does nothing else than printing a message task A on the standard output. Now you have to copy this file twice, so copy it and paste it twice in the folder DAGs, like that. Then rename DAG A copy with dag_b and DAG A copy 2 with dag_c. Obviously, in dag_b, you have to rename dag_a with dag_b. Same thing for the task. Like that. And do the same for dag_c. So dag_c, task_c, task_c, and dag_c. Okay, so you have 3 DAGs that do nothing else than printing a message on the standard output. What else? Well, we are going to create the DAG that uses the external task sensors. One external task sensor to wait for task A from DAG A, another one to wait for task B in DAG B, and the last one to wait for task C in DAG C. So let me show you how to do it. In your code editor, create a new file waiting_A, B, and C.py. Then you import the decorators as well as the external task sensor and the datetime object. Next, you define the DAG and you are ready to create the first task with the external task sensor. You need to put a task ID as well as the external DAG ID. The DAG ID of the DAG where the task you are waiting for is, in this case, dag_A. Then you define the external task ID, the task ID of the task you are waiting for from DAG A, in this case, task_A. So if we sum up, you are saying that you will wait for task A from DAG A to complete before executing the next task. We can create a second external task sensor for DAG B this time, so we are waiting for task B to complete in DAG B, as well as for DAG C, so we are waiting for task C to succeed in DAG C. Next, we want to add additional tasks, for example, next_A, then next_B, and next_C, and the last one, done. We create the dependencies as shown right there. So first we are waiting for task A, then we execute next A and done. At the same time we are waiting for B, then we execute next B, done, and same thing for C. Now we have that, let's see what you get on the Airflow UI. Back on the Airflow UI, you have the DAGs DAG A, B, C, as well as waiting for ABC. If you click on waiting for ABC and go to the graph view, you can see the following DAG with waiting for A, waiting for B, and waiting for C that correspond to your external task sensor. Let's see how it works. So if you turn on the toggle of this data pipeline and refresh the page, you can see that the 3 sensors are now waiting for the corresponding tasks to succeed. And if we go back to DAGs and turn on the toggle of DAG A, for example, then refresh the page and go back to waiting for ABC, you can see that the external task sensor waiting for A has been successfully executed since task A from DAG A has been successfully executed as well. So that's the power of the external task sensor. You can wait for a task from another DAG to succeed before executing the next tasks in your DAG. As you can see, the other external task sensors are still running, so they are still waiting for B and C to complete in the DAGs B and C. If you turn on the toggles of those DAGs and wait a little bit, as soon as you refresh the page, you will see that waiting for B and waiting for C have been successfully executed as well. The external task sensor is a little bit more complicated than that. You have to take care of the execution date between the DAG where the sensor is running and the DAG where the task you are waiting for is. So that's why I made a dedicated video for the external task sensor. Don't hesitate to check it out if you want to learn more about this powerful sensor. By the way, we haven't triggered consumer and the producer DAGs that use datasets to create DAG dependencies. If you want to test the datasets, it's very easy. You just need to turn on the toggle of the consumer DAG first. Remember that this DAG is waiting for a dataset to be updated, actually 2 datasets that are updated from 2 tasks in the producer DAG. So if you turn on the toggle of producer and wait a little bit, you will see that the consumer DAG is running as the 2 datasets have been updated from the producer DAG. So feel free to check out the datasets, the external task sensor, and the TriggerDAGRunOperator. I made dedicated videos for each of those ways for creating DAG dependencies. And if you enjoyed that video and you want to see more videos like that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I wish you a wonderful day. Take care. See you soon.